Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
This is something that comes along every now and then in generation, and it's special.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Once again, I only spoke to you, less than 2 weeks ago, but I'm joined again by Mr. Joe Fournier. How are you, mate? Looking very crisp there in Dubai.
Well, I got a real job, you know, so one pays the bills, one costs me money, so. I just finished a few meetings, and always a pleasure to get the phone call from you.
Always, Joe, always. We spoke, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, and we'll talk about the whole Jake Paul situation in a little while. But yesterday it was announced that you've now linked up with MTK Global, who are one of the front runners in the world for boxing management. So talk to me about that decision, first of all, why you've joined up with MTK Global.
Well, I mean, first thing that I have to say, I have a great eye for talent, which is, you know, why the phone rang. No, I'm kidding. To be honest with you, I've known those guys for a long time. I've got a real great personal relationship with MTK. And we've talked about me fighting and not fighting and fighting, not fighting for a while. And then obviously, I just feel like I have some unfinished business with boxing. And I sat with them, I explained what my goals are, where I want to be, where I want to get to. And I really just felt like as you said, they're the #1 in the world in boxing management and promotion. And so I just thought, like, to even be considered by them as someone they would sign was like, you know, I've already made it, you know, in my head, for coming from where I started boxing, you know, in pubs and in clubs and whatever else. So it was quite a big deal for me. And like I said in my press release, I felt really humbled, actually, that they would even consider that, you know, because like they've got the like superstars like Tyson Fury, you know, and a bunch of other world level fighters, and then me. So it was kind of cool. And I got all my mates from school like, yo, bro, like, you smashed it. You know, I haven't even fought yet. Just being associated with them was really great. So that was nice. And yeah, that's kind of how it all came around. We see a much bigger picture. I'm based at the moment in the Middle East, so boxing's growing really big out here. MTK is huge out here, actually. So I think realistically, my next fight will be the Rumble in the desert somewhere.
So, I mean, Joe, you've not fought for somewhere between 2 and 3 years, and obviously, I'm not saying boxing's a young man's sport, but as you creep older, things are not how they were 10 years ago, shall we say, okay?
I know.
Which I know you're aware of, but at 37 years old for you now, you've had 10 pro fights, undefeated, but to pick up your boxing career now at 37, what's in it for you, Joe? We know you haven't got to do this for financial reasons. We already know that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you just, for a love of the sport, you want to kind of just see where you can go with it. Is that fair to say?
Well, I just wanted to come back so I'd be the richest boxer in boxing. That was it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't want to get Mayweather's back up, start around with me now as well. To be honest with you, it was just, I felt I had some unfinished business. I kind of got a little bit, you know, now I have the attention of all of your amazing viewers. Kind of got a bit cock-blocked, to be honest with you, last time. People were really hating on the fact that I was better than they thought I'd be. And kind of started closing the doors as I went up. Because, you know, boxing can be a bit political, you know, in certain aspects sometimes, especially if you're not a boxing thoroughbred. You know, I'm not an Olympic champion. I never was on the British amateur team. I had no amateur fights. I only fought unlicensed. So there was a bit of like, I didn't understand it. I was like, why can I not fight today? Why can I not fight tomorrow? People say, why are you not fighting? And so it was hard. I understood a lot more, and I really got educated. And for me, it's kind of like, it's personal goals. Like in my world, I'm at the top, right? So I walk in the room, I'm like the Anthony Joshua of the room, right? Or the Tyson Fury, or the Canelo in my business. In boxing, you know, I'm still kind of up and coming, should you say. So I was like, I just want to see how far I could go. And I never knew the answer. And I just was sitting on the sidelines for the last 2.5, 3 years, kind of like getting frustrated, getting YouTubers calling me out. And for me, it's a personal challenge. And how far can I take this? Can I win belts? Can I beat people that people don't expect me to beat? Because one thing I will give every single time I step in the ring is I'll give it my all. You know, in camp, I don't drink. I'm very focused. I don't, you know, I'm really on it. So I'm going to kind of give my heart and soul to this sport for the next 1, 2, 3 years. Depends how long you can go. Look at Manny Pacquiao. He's 41. And the good part is I haven't taken that many big shots. I haven't really been in many kind of life or death scenarios. So, you know, like if you talk to all the top fighters, they say actually over years, your chin goes because it grinds you down. You know what I mean? I've never really had that. So I'm pretty fresh. I feel fresh. When I spar, I feel fresh. So I see age as definitely, I'd like to be 22 having this conversation with you, but I'm 37. My birthday's next month. But I think for me, it's like, doesn't mean that I'm not dead. You know, I still got 2 legs, 2 feet, 2 eyes, and I still train hard, and I'm a bit more intelligent with my training. I know how to manage my body because, like you said, you get little aches and pains. You got to ice your knees. So yeah, I'm not a kid, but I have a bit more knowledge, and I've also not stopped training actually behind the scenes. So I've been in and around boxing. I was out in the States with Salas. I was with Dino Spencer in Miami Beach at the Fifth Street Gym. I've been here doing some training. So I've never really at any point kind of just said like, oh yeah, I'm not boxing. I've kept it up. So that's a lot of hours in the gym. So if anything, I've improved, I think. I'll be way better next time you see me out than you've ever seen me before. And bearing in mind, last time I fought, I won the WBA International belt and was ranked number 10 in the world. So I'm going to be better than that. That's what I can promise.
So as a realistic, obviously you want to win some titles. You want to see how far you can go and push yourself. So if you give yourself a kind of a 2-3 year period, it might be longer, it may be shorter, we don't know. But what would give you satisfaction? Where would you be content that you've done what you wanted to do in boxing?
You know, I don't really have a goal. It's like, how long's a piece of string? I never thought I'd be this far. I never thought that you would ever be interviewing me. Right? So I've already reached all of my goals before I put on the first pair of boxing gloves and went to the boxing gym. And I said, you know, that's the reality. I'm not just trying to be nice because, you know, you're going to edit this. It's the truth. I used to watch you, you know, when you were, you know, up and coming. I was like, oh, I'd be cool to be on one of these things. So, like, imagine what I've done already. I've kind of 10-0 undefeated. I just wanted to have one pro fight. That was my goal. Right? So I think I don't know how far I can. I don't actually know how good I am. You know, someone says like, "Do you reckon you'd beat him?" I have no idea. That's the truth. I can probably. I don't know if I lose to a guy that's ranked 200 in the world or 200 in like England, or a guy that's like, oh, Canelo. No idea. I couldn't tell you. We gotta get in the ring. We gotta have a fight, and then I'll tell you after. I have sparred some top level guys. I remember the first time I sparred James DeGale. I remember thinking to myself, how the hell did he do that? Every 5 seconds, like how did I get hit on the side of the head? And I was like, Jesus Christ, like, you know, how did he? Where did that come from? It's like I felt like it was 2 or 3 people in the ring, but you know that was 5 years ago. So as time goes on, you get better and you improve. So I think for me, I really don't know how far I want to go. All I know is I want to fight. I want to fight regularly. I want to wow the crowds. I want to do my entertainment thing. At the end of the day, I'm a businessman, so I'm gonna bring, you know, a little bit extra to boxing than just kind of like showing up like an 18, 19-year-old pro debut guy. You know, I'm going to bring a bit more entertainment, shall we say.
I remember having a conversation with David Hay a couple of years ago. This was like a right off the record conversation, but I'm sure David won't mind me repeating this now. But I said to David at the time, I said, like, what's the crack with Joe? Like, can he actually fight? And David went to me, and I take the word of what David said. Do you know, there's certain people in boxing, if he's not when he's hyping a fight up, do you know what I mean? That's like a different David Hay sometimes, because he's talking the fight up because he believes it, but also he's adding that little bit of hype. But I had an off-the-record conversation with him, and I said to him about you. And he went, do you know what, Kugan? He can actually fight. That's the thing. He can actually fight. I've been around this guy for years. I've seen him in the gym. I've seen him sparring. This guy can fight. Like you said yourself, we don't know how good you are. You don't know how good you are. But David told me that you can fight. So I kind of took that and thought, well, David ain't going to just say that to me for no reason. Like, there's no benefit of David saying to me, you can fight off the record. On camera, maybe, but off camera, that's what he said.
Well, look, David's seen me behind the scenes, you know, sparring, and 10-ounce gloves, the lights is another thing. In the ring with not James, but other world champions. And I really probably held my own, if not maybe did a bit better than expected, right? And so he's seen that, and he understands that. So will that translate at 37, 38 years old? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say is I'm not coming into this like, yo, give me Canelo tomorrow. Like, cool. If Canelo calls me up and says, listen, you're going to get paid, show up in Texas, let's do this. I'm going to go because I literally have no idea. So I had that kind of fear. You know, do you remember when Wayne Rooney played for Everton? He had no fear. Everyone was like, he has no fear, this guy. And he was batting that great goal he scored against my team, Arsenal. I remember it, right? No one would have been...
Arsenal, please.
Yeah.
Not mentioned Arsenal, who are actually playing tonight, but yeah.
Yeah. I have that naivety that makes me go in with a certain confidence that I guess other fighters might not have at my age. So I'm excited to go. I like the big stage. You know, my most exciting time was when I fought the O2 Arena. It was like, I loved it. I thrive off that. I actually find it like a bit boring, just the monotony of training without the interviews, without the pizzazz, without the challenges, you know, because that's kind of what gets you wake up in the morning. It's like, I've just talked a lot of shit and I got to go in the ring and punch this guy in the head. And if he beats me up, I'm going to look so stupid. That's my like, oh shit. You know what I mean? That's the reality. It's like the most alpha macho way to like put your money where your mouth is. So that's why when you get these disrespectful YouTubers talking shit about me, you know, and other world level people that I look up to. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I look up to McGregor, what he's achieved in his life. He's a superstar, right? He's the LeBron James of MMA, essentially, or the Ronaldo of MMA. And then to just insult the Irish people, like, just like that.
Yeah, what did you make of the video,
nation.
Joe? What did you make of that video that you put out?
I watch it. Well, firstly, I love Irish people, right? They're my people. You know, I grew up in London, and I love a pint of Guinness. I always used to go to Ireland. I've been to Dublin like 10 times. I'll go down to Cork. So I love Ireland. And firstly, they're the nicest people. So how can you insult the Irish? That's number one. You must be a real dumbass to insult Irish people. Secondly, is like, how can you, I get it, you're trying to make a fight, whatever, but how can you insult a whole nation that half of America is American Irish? Do you understand? It's just retarded. So, it's not something I think the guy's an idiot. You know, when I met him, I thought he was all right, actually. I thought he was like I think this whole thing's gone to his head a little bit. And I told you he was never going to reply to fight me because he doesn't want to go anywhere near me. And like I told you, I know I beat him just because I have some balls. I know he has zero, like he's a super manipulated situation. But I couldn't believe the fact he didn't even pipe up again. He just disappeared off the face of the earth after I just cussed him for 17 minutes straight. So, and then he goes to do it to McGregor, and it's like, doesn't make any, it would actually literally be like me sitting on here now and going, you know what? I want Joshua. That's my next fight. Like, it's so above the realm of reality what he's trying to do. Do you know what I'm saying? With regards to like boxing, that why would McGregor fight him? McGregor can fight Pacquiao and make 10 times the money, right? McGregor can fight a UFC fight and still get, it's not like he needs the money, is it? It's not like McGregor's like, oh shit, I'm skinned. I need a few quid. You know what I'm saying? So whereas Jake Paul's purely fighting for money, right? That's it. He's figured out YouTube is a dying brand, right? The whole way that YouTube thing works, it's not going as well as he wanted it in his world. So he's like, okay, I can box. He got paid 10 million quid last time he boxed. So he's thinking, okay, maybe he's more intelligent than me. He's thinking, well, let me fight more. And the more I fight, the more pay-per-view sales, the more I get paid. I get it. So just go and fight me or fight another YouTuber or fight someone else that you might have half a chance of even competing with. Don't go and fight someone that's 50 times richer than you that doesn't care and then insult his whole nation. You know what I mean? My guy.
I think when we spoke about this the other day. When it's a YouTuber fighting a YouTuber, I think people can get their head round it more. We've got Logan Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather in what's deemed as an exhibition. And then we've got Jake Paul, his brother, wanting a fight with Conor McGregor in the boxing ring. That kind of thing is like, you're talking about two completely different ends of the spectrum. So that people can have more of an opinion about why that shouldn't happen. But when a YouTuber's fighting another YouTuber or that kind of scenario.
He's 2-0, yeah, as a pro boxer. But none of his opponents have ever had a pro boxing fight.
True. That is true.
So put that into context and then call out one of the guy that basically made MMA, UFC into a world-renowned sport and brought the real excitement. Win or lose, he was always a superstar in Conor McGregor, right? How can you go from that to that? I don't, it's like, whew. And I can mark my words, Mayweather is not fighting Logan Paul. You've heard it here first. That fight isn't happening, it's not true, and I know that for a fact.
Really?
Well, some guy called me and asked me,
already.
Listen, someone called me up and asked me to put up the money for it, like literally 2 weeks ago. So I know the money hasn't been raised because they've asked me for the dough. So if I haven't, and I haven't written the check, so how's it been announced? How's it happening? What's happened is they put it out there with a view to try and convince some governments and some tourism boards to try and raise the cash to make it happen. So I'm sure one party said, give me 200 million. The other party said, give me 40 million. And then whatever will work out at pay-per-view. But that 200 or that 100, the guarantee needs to come from somewhere. And they asked me for the dough. So I can tell you right now to your face, I would got a phone call saying, we need X amount of money to put this fight on here. Will you give it to us, Joe Fournier? I'm basically Logan Paul's boss if I pay for that. Do you see what I'm saying? So how is Jake talking to Conor? I don't even understand.
Well, we'll wait and see. I mean, all I know is that they've put formal announcements on their social media pages. The pay-per-view, you can buy the pay-per-view now, as far as I know. So, you know.
All right, where is it?
Somewhere in America.
How can you announce a fight without a city?
Okay. Well, listen, we'll see the way it pans out because February isn't that long away at all. So.
No.
All right. I'm sure people will refer back to this interview if what you say materialises that way.
Yeah.
Joe, but just in finishing, I mean, what's the plan for you? Obviously, we're at the end of 2020 now. So how quickly do you want to get yourself back in the ring? Probably maybe shake a little bit of ring rust off and just get back on that journey as quick as possible, I'm assuming.
Look, I want to fight in March, beginning, end of Feb, March. That's for sure. I'm kind of stayed in good nick, to be honest with you. So I'm really ready to go. So I spoke to the guys at MTK. We talked about a fight here out in the Middle East in around March time. And if any of these other YouTube, I don't know, celebrities want to fight me any times before that, I'm ready to go. But real boxing. Let's talk about real boxing and like drama boxing. Real boxing, March, I'm going to fight someone real here in the Middle East. And I'm hoping to fight consistently kind of every 4 months after that.
Yeah, okay.
So I'd like to come back fight in England at some point.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, we don't know how the situation is going to be next year with boxing. I think we've half got away with it over the last few months with the closed door shows and the one, obviously, with Joshua the other day that had 1,000 fans. But I think with next year, everything's a little bit up in the air at the moment.
It's crazy, right? Yeah.
I'm
kind of, yeah. But, you know, I'm out here in Dubai right now and it's sunshine and palm trees and it's like really not festive at all. I'm like...
unfestive place in the world.
Like, couldn't be less festive. Only in my building is playing like Christmas carols, that's it. You know, I've ordered turkey and all that from a pub up the road for Christmas Day. It's really unfestive. I kind of want it to be cold and miserable and I want to get that first 2-3 hours in the pub before I go around my mum's for Christmas. Yeah.
All right, well, listen, we'll catch up after the new year, Joe. Anyway, keep us posted on any kind of potential fight news for yourself. And
thanks, buddy.
We'll catch up again if I can get out.
Nice watch. at you. Look at you,
I
KUGAN.
can see you flash one out there.
Mine's
What's that?
Protect Philippe.
Yeah, lovely.
You know, you're like the Steven Spielberg of boxing.
No, well, I don't know about that. I definitely don't know about that. In fact, no, definitely not. Just a chancer in life that's
done well.
Yeah.
All right, man. Really good to catch up with you.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll catch up as soon as you've got a bit of fight news, Joe. Let us know, and we'll have another catch up.
All right. Appreciate it.
Okay,
thanks, buddy. Take care.
KUGAN CASSIUS here with Joe Fournier for IFL TV. Thank you very much.
This is something that comes along every now and then in generation, and it's special.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.